Hi, this is part 5 of my mini series, Pisces and Virgo, a part of my series, Appreciating Symbols. This will be the concluding part, um, and we'll take it from where we left off. Um, the negative part of Mercury in Pisces is that it forces intermixing on a sign that doesn't want intermixing. It wants space as much as it wants to connect. So whenever you see Mercury in Pisces, it's going to be a sign that there's going to be much confusing energy. It'll always come from whatever you're closest to at the moment. If it's a relationship, then you guys can seem to be melding together rather than working together or complementing each other, or creating a mental space of appreciation. Desperation kind of comes into play. It reeks. Clinging, attachment, and worst overall would be that the thing is that the sign affects the planet. So when you have a sign like Pisces that emphasizes the masculine penetrating energy, that force, it's not concerned with respecting boundaries. It's an energy that's concerned with getting what it wants. So wherever you see that kind of desperation kind of energy, desperate to get what it wants, you're seeing Pisces at its worst. And that happens when a planet detriments it, or it detriments the wrong planet, in this case Mercury. So Mercury's penchant for intermixing is influenced by this Pisces drive to penetrate and connect. And you have manipulators that come out of this, liars that come out of this, sweet talkers, soothsayers. What we're looking at right now with this chart is today's current planets, where the planets are at this very moment, which is February the 9th. And we can see actually that Mercury is in the 5th degree of Pisces. Yesterday it was a little earlier in Pisces, the day before, and I think the day before that was when it entered. So we've had a couple of days of Mercury Pisces now. We've had a couple of days of this detriment energy. What have we been seeing? On the one hand, we've been seeing media outlets doing what they do, which clearly must be heavily influenced by detrimental mutable energy, because all they typically do is lie, pander, propagandize. More or less, politics kind of stay under the radar with that stuff. If they do flippy floppy stuff, they keep it on the DL until they get lazy, like some of them, and they start showing the whole world their stock market pockets. No more need be said. But at this current time, we're seeing a lot of hostility against truth in government. We're seeing spokespersons that are outright saying that some things that are clearly written, legal documents, are lies, or they're dead ends. There's nothing to them. You're seeing government and politicians that are just lying to our faces. This will be happening in your personal life to certain degrees. The penchant for manipulation, the penchant for uh, lack of boundaries, people doing things for you, people overstepping, overcrossing. There's going to be a lot of that. There's going to be blurring of lines where people tell you one thing and it means the opposite. I've been seeing that on the internet. Fixed signs are always going to stay with the same thoughts that make sense, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. At the bottom of the hill is where you see people getting swept away who have mutable opinions about things. So you're starting to see people kind of go from the energy of everything in the files is verifiable, fact checked. We're angry, we're upset, we're being lied to, people say stuff, pepperoni pizza, excusive behavior. This is an energy that is empowering misstepfulness or deceit. And that's what happens when Pisces over influences Mercury. Where Mercury is in Pisces. So if willful ignorance and deception are kind of the shadow side, or the quote-unquote bright side of a dark object, then the shadow side of a dark object would be its light side. So what's the benefit that we can see out of Mercury in Pisces? Out of something that moves people's opinions forcefully? Well, obviously then we're in a point of time where changeability occurs, flux occurs, people are going to be pulled into different directions. Essentially, the good side of this bad aspect is that there's just more room for creative energy, creative interplay. This is a time where fate and life and nature mix things up. We no longer pay attention to the same things. So on and so forth. We'll essentially be connected to other things, and that varies according to your personal chart. But the fact is that it happens. And we're witnessing it in real time with a lot of the political theater going on right now, and it'll continue to get worse and good. The main thing that you can do personally is pay attention to the time of year that you're in. Wintertime, earth element. Stay grounded. You're wiser than you know. If something looks too good to be true, if the energy feels like it's pushing you in that direction, but it feels like it's against what you need to do, try to question it. Try to unravel it. Think about it. And figure it out if there's an angle that you can approach it from, or figure out if you need to drop it, or, because the idea here is that you still need to maintain the presence of space and boundary, which is what Saturn is known for. Saturn being the planet that typifies winter. You just need to stay grounded, stay centered, stay focused as best as possible. Of course, some people will have Saturn disabilities. Other people will be more safe in Saturn energy, so it really depends. This is why you go to an astrologer to get a reading. Anyway, that's all. Take care, you guys. Stay warm.